Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice. It's a brand new week, the sun's shining bright. A chance to cast your net, step into the light. Life's full of challenges, it's a winding stream. But with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream.
Well, happy Monday. Thank you so much for tuning into Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. And one of the things that people overlook in mental health is our financial part of our lives. And I just wanted to, I'm super excited to introduce you to my special guest today, Dawnette Palmore. She is an expert money coach. She also has two podcasts. So I'll let her tell you about that when we get, once we get into our dialogue. But, Dawnette, tell us where you're from and how did you stumble upon this journey in the money field?
Yes. Well, I am in Long Beach, California, and I reside here. Well, it's just me and my husband now, but we do have a blended family of 7 children and 3 grandchildren.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but I stumbled in it because I messed up my own finances, basically. Being a business that we've been business owners for 24-ish years. One day I looked up and I'm like, wow, we're making great money, more than we ever had, but where is it all going? We're still in debt. We have no retirement. I feel like we're living paycheck to paycheck. We're stressed out. What's going on? And I started looking into stuff. And when you think about your finances, you feel like, oh my gosh, it's so much. How in the world am I ever going to fix this? But I found some systems and processes that just was like, just one step at a time. You don't have to do it all at once. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And I started implementing it. And the freedom and peace it brought me, I was like, I have to share this with other people. And so I created my business.
Oh, nice. So what do you find most prevalent when you see clients that pops up that are, major stop roadblocks in the area of finance?
Major roadblocks is basically it's what they think about money. What are they actually thinking about money that they may not even be consciously aware? Most people aren't. I wasn't. I didn't realize what I was thinking about money and why I behaved that way till I stopped and said, okay, where did this come from? And it comes from our childhood, our environment. When we think
Yes.
about what did we see in our home growing up about money? Was there fighting? Was there abuse with it? Was there manipulation? Was there hoarding? Like there's all kinds of things. And when we think about, okay, this is what we saw, and we could say, oh, well, this is why I'm doing this. And once we become aware, as you know, then we can change it, which is the exciting
That's
part.
it's funny because that's when I coach my clients and do a holistic audit on their lives and we get to the financial part, if that's a deficit, if that is a deficit in their life. I'm not a financial coach, but I definitely always send them out to people who, I recommend. But if there's a financial deficit in there, I kid you not, you can take the stories that come out of it, and just to be transparent with my own personal, when I did I did that on myself. That's why I came up with the particular holistic wheel, because I was like, if you got a deficit in one area, it affects all other areas, right? Kid you not, when I was struggling in financial debt, I did not want to look at my finances. It was too overwhelming. And when I found that it was too overwhelming, it started to take a deep dive into what is it, how do I actually view money? And, what is the belief system behind that, right? So when I was growing up, I found out that my dad, I used to watch him go to the store, take me shopping and buy me the things that I needed. And he always used a credit card. And I watched him do it and I thought, oh, he's rich, you know.
Yeah.
Credit card looks rich. So you know, and I never understood that. I always thought credit card debt was like powerful. That it made I saw my dad as powerful. So therefore, if I have credit cards, I'm powerful.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up in a cycle of debt. But anyway, so you're right about that. The way you see, you know, the way you view money is so key, right? And so,
Absolutely.
as a money coach, what type of tools do you use in your practice to teach others?
Yeah. So one is obviously mindset, right? We have to get that going. But before you can even touch that, they just want to see that something's going to work. So we have to take a look at where their money is going. Where is your money going? Because if we don't know where it's going, we can't fix it. So we do have to look at it, which we know is scary and overwhelming. But once we do it, when we face that fear, we find out really it's not that scary. And even if it is, we've actually taken the first step towards taking our power back to be able to change it. So we look at those, where that money's going. We come up with a plan that's relevant to their life, based on their goals and values, not a cookie cutter system or somebody else's values or what they say is important, but what is important to you, and how can we change your behaviors and habits with money to
Hmm.
align with those goals and values so you can hit all the things that you want to hit.
Do you find that people feel extremely vulnerable when they have to lay out their financial business? And how do you
Yes.
help them through that?
So it is very vulnerable, right? It's like you're looking at someone's dirty laundry.
Yeah.
So how I help them overcome that is I actually have them send me their bank statements and credit card statements. And I go through it for them because I know that they're afraid, they're overwhelmed, and they're probably not going to do it because of that. So I do it for them. And then
Hmm.
together we look at it. So they're not alone. They're not, they have somebody partnering with them to look at their money and what it's been doing, to say, you know what, it's okay. You've just been doing what you were taught. Now
Right.
let's fix it.
That's powerful. And so I'm sure you have to, let them know it's not judgmental
Yes,
environment,
absolutely.
because that's really where they feel vulnerable is they're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm not good enough. Yeah, and I'm sure you deal with that, right?
I have never had someone say that to me, but I share my story. I was messed up with my finances. I did the wrong things. I didn't know any better either. But when I took a look at it, that's when I got my power back and I was able to change it. And, I never say anything that's judgmental. I never make them feel like they're being judged, but just like, okay, well, and if they come back and say, well, I did this, and it's like, all right, well, tell me how you feel about it, what led up to that. Let's talk through it.
Wow. So, so what, who are like, do you have a certain age group? Who are your ideal clients?
So my ideal clients are women.
Okay.
And I like to work with women who make good money, and that's really relevant to the person, right? But they feel like they're constantly broke,
Okay.
stressed, unashamed, they don't know where their money's going. Same thing I felt. They're stuck in like this survival mode, juggling bills, family responsibilities. Like, we wear all these hats as women, right? And
Yes.
they feel like no matter how much I earn or how much money we earn, it never feels like enough. Like, we're stuck in this hamster wheel. So of course, as we talk, they're avoiding looking at their bank accounts. They're feeling anxiety. They don't even want to talk about money. They're not talking about it with their significant other. And they're carrying this weight of silent financial chaos while they're trying to hold everything together, as we do
Mm.
as women, right? We like to look like we're holding it all together when inside we're actually dying. So I help them to break free from that cycle, right? Helping them understand where their money is going, shift the mindset that keeps them stuck, and create a simple plan that gives them their control and their power back. So that's who I help and how I help them. And it's, oh, so amazing.
Yeah, it does feel so powerless when you in so much debt that you can't get out. Feel like you're just drowning. Uh, what do you do with those who are drowning and don't have enough resources?
Yeah, those are hard conversations, right? Because there's only two ways to fix that. Cut expenses and or increase income.
Right.
And of course, mindset is huge and we don't even have enough time to go into that because you have a whole
Right.
podcast on mindset pretty much, right? Mental health. Um, but you know, you have to take a good look at things and remember that the most important things are feeding your family and keeping a roof over your head and keeping the lights on.
Yes.
The debtors are going to be okay. They have no problems keeping their lights on. They have no problems feeding their family. But you need to make sure that you put your family and your needs first. And then sometimes, yeah, you're not going to be able to pay the debt. You're going to have to just let the consequences be the consequences and come back to it later.
And I like how you say you have to have that hard conversation, which is the mindset. You have to get, how did you get there? Is the biggest thing is how did you get there? It's not that you're there, it's how, right? The
Yeah,
roadmap that got you to that place is all about mindset.
right, right. And we have to stop and look at that because sometimes when we think about it, and when you think about your journey with debt, you're just like, one day you woke up and there was like all this debt. And you're just like, what happened?
Right. I'm that credit card
Well, if we
happy.
go look at the statements, it tells us what happened, right? We
Mhm.
become numb because we don't use cash anymore. So we have to be even more super conscious of what we're doing with
Yes.
money because we're not using cash. And there's scientific research behind it. When we use cash, our pain receptors go off in our brain. But when we're swiping plastic, we're pretty much brain dead. And when you think about it, you
Oh
are.
my God. Thank you for saying. Thank you for saying. That's a mic drop right there.
And now we don't even swipe, we tap. You're just like, bing. So, I mean,
It
that's
is
effortless and
definitely a
painless.
different experience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so interesting because sometimes, I mean, I don't even like carrying cash, but at the same time, when I do have it, I am very conscious of how much I'm spending of it. You're right.
Right.
It's like almost like you don't even see it when you're dealing with credit cards or the
Yeah.
card, the debit
Yeah.
card.
Whatever card.
Your
It could be a
debit
debit
card,
card
you're like,
too.
wait a minute, I overspent.
Yeah. And it costs you dearly to overspend, right? Because they have overdraft protection, which isn't protection. They're just charging you extra money to overdraft.
And so it's better to just take the money out of your account and go to the grocery store with that amount on your budget, and you won't go over.
Yeah. Because you don't have anywhere else to get the money from.
Right.
But if we can, I
That
know
is
we're
so
moving
deep.
into a society where, we're moving towards cards and a lot of people use cards. And because of this whole thing with COVID, nobody wants to touch money. There's all kinds of other psychological things going on with that. So that's why we have to be even more hyper conscious when we're using debit and credit cards of what we're spending and keeping track and having that relationship. We have to have a relationship with money. And I say, money is a horrible master but a wonderful slave.
Mm, wow.
Yeah.
Elaborate on it. I like that. That is
So
powerful.
yes, yes. So when we're not paying attention to our money, it does whatever it wants. It just is a master of us. We're a slave to it.
Yes.
We're working to pay the big man, as they say, right? Which are the credit card uh,
Slave to the lender.
slave to the lenders. But when we take control of our money and we start telling money where to go, it just magically does it. It's like, okay, I love it. Let's work together and let's show them that we can use this and have peace and get things done.
So you saying when you create a relationship with money, create it in a way that you're managing it.
Yes, it puts you in control, it gives you your power back, and money will behave if you tell it to.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So this is good. So what is your onboarding process when you take on clients?
So of course we all have our initial conversation, right? Let me find out what is going on. Let me tell you how I can help you and see if we're a good fit, and then we can move forward. Then, like I said, I have them email me. I have a secure link, so don't worry, where they can email me their bank statements and credit card statements so I can go through them for them, find out what's happening, where the money's going. Then we come together for 2 hours. We come together for 2 hours. Okay, here's what's going on. It's great. Now what it is it that you want to do? Let's create that
Okay.
plan and see how we can, fit that in there. And then as time goes on, we can put in, bigger goals, bigger priorities, and things like that. The first thing we have to do is get control of that money and start looking at it differently and changing our habits with money so that we can start doing, I say, let me show you how to do all the things.
Oh, nice. Okay, okay, okay. And so what advice, if you could pick one thing to tell the audience that's so important, what would it be? If you can just, if you had one opportunity to give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Above everything, money if your money's not right, the rest of your life isn't going to be right. It doesn't matter how much money you have or you don't have. It is like the root of all of our problems when you boil it down. So get right with your money, get control of your money, become aware of what you're doing with it so that you can change it and the habits into what you want.
Good advice. Good advice. Do you now as a money coach, do do you help them invest as well, or do you help them in what other avenues of where you help them with money?
Yeah, so I am not a financial advisor, so I don't help them invest.
Okay.
Um, but if they're ready to do that, then I have people I can refer them to do that if they don't already have someone that they're working with.
Okay.
But I also started integrating life insurance and protecting our wealth and protecting our families. So
Okay.
that's something I can help them do. And I can also show them how to invest in life insurance to also build retirement because there's a ton of life insurance products that do a lot of things.
Like I think it's index life insurance.
There
Uh
is so much different life insurance. Yeah, so many vehicles now, and it's just amazing. And I would say 10 years ago, I was not a fan of permanent life insurance. But now that they have all these products and I've educated myself about how they work and how they can help people. Um, I'm a firm believer in them.
yeah, they do have a lot I heard. Because I think when I was younger, I remember like term only or whole a term that was the only two that you would hear about.
Yeah, yeah.
And now
And
it's so many different ones.
yes, and you have people who've done bad things with them to people, and then there's that, oh, insurance, oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
um,
You need it. You need life insurance. And I would say, like, what age would you advise people to get life insurance? Because a lot of times people don't take it seriously, right?
yes, they don't. So term life insurance is always important, right? And you can get that whenever. I mean, if you're 18, go get it because the younger you are, the less expensive it is. And I say, and people are like, well, why would I need life insurance? Well, because dying is not free. It's going to cost
Ooh.
somebody something to bury you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the average funeral is like 10 to $20,000.
It is up there 20. I think it's 20 and up now.
And that's just a basic funeral, nothing
Yes.
special. So it's getting expensive. And then you would need to talk to your life insurance agent about what is it that you want to accomplish with life insurance. Because, like I said, there's such a broad um, spectrum of products. It would depend on what you want to do, but the earlier the better, right? Just
Oh,
like with
yeah.
anything, the earlier the better.
Yeah, because you're young and vibrant, it's cheaper. you get older and you wait, oh, well, I'll do it when I get old. Now is no age stipulations on death anymore. It's like,
No, unfortunately, there isn't.
unfortunately, you need it. You need it. You just never know. And the worst is the GoFundMe. Oh my God.
Yes. So you can GoFundMe with a life insurance policy. But it's not even
Exactly.
about you, right? It's about the people that you
It's about the
love.
people you leave behind, right? Yeah. So definitely. So how can the audience get in touch with you? Although
Yes,
you will send me links, but how can they
I
get in touch
will
with
send you
you?
links. You can find me in all the places at Your Money on Purpose. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I'm even on Facebook. My website is yourmoneyonpurpose.com. You can email me at yourmoneyonpurpose@gmail.com.
Awesome. So if you guys saw that this was an interview that touched your heart or your wallet, I would say definitely reach out to Dawnette and find out, she does a financial audit, which is amazing. And she helped you with it. Cause I'm not gonna lie, when I had to do my financial audit, it wasn't pretty and it wasn't easy. And reach out to Dawnette to help you get that audit done because she's right. When your finances is not right, your life is don't feel quite where it need to be. And so we definitely want you, it definitely affects all the other parts of your life, such as relationships and, the way your mental health is. So before we end, if you could tell us, like, how does finances affect other parts of your life?
Oh gosh. When we stop and think about it, 50% of divorce is because of finances. And it's probably even a bigger percentage if you actually backtrack in those marriages
Oh,
that are being
yes.
divorced. And it's because people don't talk about it because we don't know how to talk about it because we're ashamed of it. We think we should have it figured out, but nobody really taught it to us. So there's no
So
shame in that.
true.
But then also every issue you could have in your body compounds because of financial stress. Heart attacks, backaches, ulcers, digestive issues, all of this is because of financial issues. And then, of course, if we're not feeling well, we're going to be grumpy to other people. And then there goes our relationships, right? And it's just like
Yes.
every single part of our life is affected by finances, whether we realize it or not. And money even controls when it's in control of us, what we can and cannot do, where
Yes.
we can and cannot eat, where we can and cannot go. So it's just such a stressor, and it wasn't the intention God had for money. He gave it to us as a tool to use to live a prosperous life that brings the kingdom to earth.
Yes. 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 And he actually put us in charge to manage it. So we need to be a
Yes,
good steward over
yes,
what he's blessed us with.
yes. And not just manage, but his commandment was to be fruitful and multiply. He wants us to
Yes.
multiply our
Multiply
money.
it. Yes. Can't multiply with a lot of debt.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can multiply debt pretty quick.
Oh, yes. And it can very much look like you multiplying it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are definitely correct. So thank you so much, Dawnette, for sharing your wisdom on casting the net. And like I said, I am so happy to have you on my podcast. Tell us about your podcast. You have two.
Yes, I have two podcasts. One is called Your Business on Purpose, so it's geared towards women entrepreneurs. So I would love to have you on my podcast, Martha, and come and talk to my audience
Absolutely.
as well. And then I have another podcast I just started with a couple of other ladies. It's called Coffee with Coaches. And so you have a money coach, a life coach, and a mindset coach.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
To the
thank you.
audience, if you feel like you have really enjoyed this show, please reach out to Dawnette. and she has a full-blown audit she can do with you that will make you comfortable and feel safe and very easy to navigate. Because when I did my finances, it was not pretty and I had to do it alone. I wish I would have known her then. And also she has all type of ways that can help you to navigate your finances as well. So thank you so much for coming on. And if you have enjoyed this and you want to share with someone who is struggling in their finances, or people who need help learning about finances, please reach out to Dawnette. And I will have her links in the video. Reach out to her. She can be of major value to your wallet. So, and to your life. And so, thank you so much for listening. And please do share and subscribe, because I'm always bringing amazing people on the podcast. So I just want you to definitely share and subscribe. And if you like it, please put comments in the video and reach out, and because we care about your mental, physical, and financial health. So thank you so much for listening. We are signing off.
We'll heal every heart. So join